All right, welcome to KLEAN Radio. It's Andrew and my co-host Judah. How you doing tonight, Judah?
I am great.
Yeah?
Yeah, turned 35 this week.
Yeah? Talk about, like, we just slammed into the studio. We got here, we have a different engineer. It's going to be a little tight.
Change. It's about change.
Right?
Dealing with change.
Dealing with change. Right? Anyway.
So, yes, wish me happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Judah.
Big 3-5.
Yeah?
No.
Plus what?
Plus, it's minus.
Really?
Plus, come on.
It's supposed to be plus for a guy and minus for a girl.
You know look at me.
Like
I
they
look
always
like
say
I'm...
women, you're supposed to subtract like 3 years from what they say.
Okay.
Or add 3 years, I'm sorry.
Right, so...
Maybe you had it right. I'm sorry.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Right, yeah. It's tough to do.
I know you have no faith in me. You have no belief in me.
So what's been new this week?
Other than my birthday? Other than turning 35? I don't know. Not much. I mean, I don't know what you're doing. You're scribbling down. You left your notes. You're all in a whole schlemiel. You're a little out of whack because, you know.
I've had a rough week. I've been moving, which is always the worst. Yeah. And then working on buying this other treatment center. So.
You moved the floor.
Yeah, exactly. I moved a whole floor, but it's just as bad as moving anywhere. So.
Which I don't understand. Did you have to hire moving people?
Yeah.
You still have to hire moving people even if you're moving a floor?
It's not as simple as one would think. You know, I had to put it all in the elevator. It's a lot of furniture.
Not you personally.
Right. I had a lot of books. It was really heavy.
And you donated a lot to Goodwill.
As much as I possibly could.
Did they actually want it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because that would have to stink if you went down to Goodwill
and they reject your stuff.
And they reject your stuff.
That could happen, I suppose, right?
How many CDs do you actually have?
I don't know, thousands. I have no idea. Like at least 10,000. And
you have your Marilyn Manson mask that for some reason you're still saving.
It's not just a mask. I know that you like to think that it's no big deal, but it's, you know.
I'm happy you're not wearing a Joy Division shirt anymore. I don't know if I could take that after learning last week what Joy Division was.
Yeah, you don't get the irony of it, though. It's not like literal, like Joy Division represented the prostitutes of the Nazis. That's not what it was about. It was about, you know, England being this broken down.
Okay, we're getting way off topic. Right. I'm just going to bust on Joy Division.
That's all you have to talk about.
No, I've actually been thinking a lot about last week's topic, which is the second A&A.
Right.
Which is the...
I thought we actually had a really good show about that.
We did.
For our listeners, why don't you remind them about what that was?
No, there was a New York Times article written by somebody whose name I can't remember. But it was in the New York Times, and he was talking about the second A in Alcoholics Anonymous, and that, you know, people are really coming out more than they ever have. So it's not as anonymous as it used to be.
And also that it shouldn't be, right? The fact that the stigma is kind of lifted, and maybe it's time for us to look at, you know, new ways of looking at the treatment of alcoholism.
No, that's what you took out of the
It said that in the article.
I actually didn't read the article. I just saw the...
See, this is why we need me, because I actually read the articles, and you just pretend to
So what did the actual article say?
It was saying that, you know, that the stigma needs to be lifted, and it's important that just like being gay was in 70s and 80s, that people should be outed for being addicts so that the message of sobriety and recovery can really be heard.
So they should out themselves.
Or be outed by other people, which, you know, I have an issue with that because I think that people have a right from...
Well, you got outed in the 70s
standpoint.
about something else. I'm joking.
But from a medical standpoint, I mean, I think there's still, you know, compliance of, you know, anonymity that's important.
I feel like we're in prison right now. I feel like we're in a cage in a zoo.
We have our guests like
and our guests just like staring at us.
And of course, they're both professionals, so they're like,
yes.
Let's see how they handle the first 10 minutes, like off the fly. And
I know that was an intense ride. First of all, let's just talk about it. Our two guests tonight live in the oddest of places. Okay, one lives in Tarzana, where the only reason I know of Tarzana is because there's a treatment center called Tarzana. And the other one lives in a city called Montrose.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Which is all I know about Montrose was that it was a band.
And all I know about Montrose is that our guest is from there.
Yeah, well, there we go.
And it was an interesting car ride. We found out, you know, quite a lot. But then we took the wrong exit off the highway to go to the bathroom, which is always fun. You can never. That's always something. You ever notice that whenever you have to go to the bathroom really badly and you pull off the highway, you never pull to the gas station. That you never pull to the Valero in the sky. That great AM/PM or that great Valero. You always pull over to that one.
I try to hit the McDonald's. They're always a little safer.
Yes.
So.
And you also, I found out you can't pee in public, or you have a hard time just going behind the car.
You're saying that I can't pee in public?
Yeah, you have a hard time going behind the car, I realized.
And this is a bad thing that I have some sort of social...
Yes, because in a pinch, you're a dude. It's one of the gifts of being a guy, is that we could just go behind an SUV.
You obviously are not a drinker, because I've seen plenty of women pee in public.
So let me ask you this question. So because of your rare affliction, which is cold urticaria,
you're really going to bring up my cold urticaria again? This is like our show is becoming about cold urticaria.
But again, about your cold urticaria, which is your rare form of if you get hot to cold too quickly,
right,
you can have a severe
anaphylactic reaction.
So I was thinking,
can you even say that?
Anaphylactic seizure. So
reaction.
I was curious. Maybe the reason you were scared to go to pee outside was because of the change of hot to cold.
We live in Southern California, and it makes things swell, so it probably wouldn't be that bad.
What are you jotting down there, by the way?
Just my homicide before suicide list.
And I'm guessing I'm on it.
It could be.
So it was a good week, It's
Yeah.
a very good week. It's something special about turning 35, spending it with your friends.
35.
I know. Never thought.
I hated my 30s. I'm surprised that
I love it.
Really?
Oh, why not?
It's like that age between like you lost your 20s and you're not like really in your 40s and kind of in control of things yet.
You think way too much. Anybody ever tell you that? Because that's like way too deep of a thought.
I'm just telling you my experience. I found my 30s to be kind of awkward, and my 40s were very together.
You were still in that nerd stage?
No, it was that transition for me was difficult. I don't know why.
Well, the number here is 877-8-830-830. The number here is 877-8-830-830. You're listening to KLEAN Radio. You could also find us on Facebook at KLEANradio.com. And what's interesting, though, about what you were talking about is you're one of the rare, you're one of the few people I know in Los Angeles is actually going to college, but
or completed
completed college, and
not to mention graduate school.
You're not to mention graduate school, right? And you actually, it is a rare thing. I mean, you must be the biggest buzzkill sometimes at like conversations when people are talking, and you're like, "Well, I got my doctorate,"
Yeah, it's not too bad.
As I just offended half our listenership.
Yeah, right. Well, not our half.
Not half.
A few. Anyway, so the big news in addiction studies this week. How boring is this? Fruit flies on meth. It sounds like a joke, right? We could do a whole bit on this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Studies is exploring the whole body effects of toxic drugs. They claim that by looking at fruit flies, they can tell that crystal meth affects the proteins in the brain. Doesn't seem like they would need fruit flies to figure that out, but I guess.
I don't get the test.
Yeah, it's one of these things where they get a grant and all of a sudden,
To test what? Meth is addictive.
Yeah, no, it's just saying they can show that there's molecular changes at the brain level from the use of meth.
And this is what they did a study on.
I just want to know how they got the fruit flies to, smoke the meth.
Actually, how does that work?
I don't know. I have no idea without killing them.
So this is your interesting topic that you wanted to talk about was fruit flies?
It's the big news on
the big news in addiction?
Yeah.
It's the...
They're saying it's important because they now know that methamphetamines influence the cellular processes associated with aging. It affects spermogenesis. Can't have babies if you're smoking meth. And it impacts the heart.
That might not be a bad thing for some people.
All these things to me, it's just amazing. It's they're kind of self-evident, right? I mean, if you're smoking meth, do you think that it's going to do wonders for your heart?
Well, the good thing is that it affects you having kids.
That's true.
So it's sort of that is the bonus to many of the people that are smoking meth in Bakersfield is that they're not reproducing.
Yeah, well, I've seen plenty of pregnant meth addicts, unfortunately, but
I never did it.
No?
Nope, never. I never.
That's right. You got sober pretty young.
Yeah.
They didn't. I guess they had.
That's
they had
actually not true because I
Benzedrine. Did
I want to tell you, I was in a halfway house years ago in Arizona, in Mesa, Arizona,
Right.
and I remember they were talking it was not really a great place. We have a bunch of dudes, and they were sharing about the meth drought in Arizona, it was like the meth drought of '98.
Right.
And like the seriousness that these guys were talking about, how the meth had dried.
Do you know what that was about?
No.
You know what happened was ephedrine, which is the major active ingredient in meth. It was made by 3 labs in Mexico that were selling it legally, and the DEA went down and shut down those labs and controlled their production. And there was a direct correlation between the amount of meth addiction and the production of ephedrine from those 3 labs.
Oh, wow.
And you could see statistically the addiction rates dropping or going up depending on whether or not they were able to control the production of the drug or not.
And they all ended up in my halfway house in Mesa, Arizona.
Yeah, right. Anyway, we're going to go out to a break, and we'll be back, and you can reach us at
877-830-830, 830-830. Hopefully we'll be able to regroup by the time we come back.
Yeah,
and we'll bring in our first guest, Vicki Abelson.
Yeah, who's got a great history, and it's going to be very exciting. So we will see you in a couple seconds. All right. Welcome back to KLEAN Radio. Judah, you got your Angels cap on?
I do have my Angels cap on, which was a gift, a very nice 35th birthday gift from our
former. No?
From Rand.
Oh. Poor Rand. I love Rand, though. He's been so good to us.
He has been good to us. It was nice. He came to my birthday.
Came to your birthday. He helped determine that you were not able to complete the pitch over the mound like you had bragged for weeks that you could.
I still believe I can, just in the daytime. Okay? There's a difference when you... I'm convinced I could throw a pitch over a mound 60 feet. And so we go to Target one night, and we bought tape. We bought a baseball.
We actually made a strike zone.
We made a strike zone in the parking lot of Angel Stadium instead of using the mound that they actually have.
Because Judy doesn't have enough pull to actually get us in there.
No. There's a mound outside.
Oh, yeah, the one outside.
The one outside that we should have used. So we put tape, and I missed by a little bit.
Right.
And, men are always doing this to me. No.
We just, by the way, we have Vicki Abelson in the studio.
Yes.
Hello, Vicki.
Hello, Andrew.
I just
Judah.
pushed the microphone right in her face, and that's what that last comment was about. So it was a little intimidating. You got to stay really
It's quite
close.
large.
It is large.
It's large and black and yeah.
Yeah, I've seen larger, but
But it's a family show, Andrew. It's a family show.
At 10 o'clock at night, is it a family show?
Yes, it's a family show about addiction.
If your family's up listening at 10 o'clock, you have a bad family. I think that's a...
Wow.
That's harsh.
I know he's in a lot of judgment
That's
tonight.
right.
Andrew's very regimented. So the fact that our schedule got a little off tonight.
I know. I got thrown off.
He just got thrown off, and he moved a floor up, and it's
worldly.
It's been harrowing, and he couldn't find a box in his
It
apartment.
may have only been a floor, but for my wife, it was a lifetime of change. So it was more the emotional attachment and then reattachment to our new space. Not great.
I just want to give you another thing, because Patrick again pointed me to move over to the right, and I don't want our viewers to think that every time a female is in the studio, I
making a move?
He makes a move. He does.
I make a move.
We had someone from Playboy.com last week, and he just kept inching over, and I was like, something's going on here. And then Judah has this mythical girlfriend that he keeps telling us about.
I heard about her.
So,
yeah.
But I actually met her today. So.
Oh, you just killed the whole.
Killed the whole bit.
Killed the whole. You know, she exists.
She does exist, which proves that something good can come out of sobriety.
One of the gifts.
I can't believe it. She's actually beautiful, intelligent, smart.
And standing.
She obviously doesn't know you. Wow, you just can't. No comeback for that.
I'm
He's blushing. Like
yeah,
that.
he's
Serious.
and I'm all in full like sort of red tonight.
Well, we're a black and white video, so you
Yeah.
can get around that.
I can.
So anyway, welcome, Vicki. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And your website's impressive. I've been looking at all your stuff about your writing workshops and
My salon.
your salon. I'm sorry, I said workshop. Did I just do that after that whole discussion in the car?
Yeah, Judah. Yeah, he thought we were doing hair, but kind of. You know, if no. Yeah, I'm sorry. What were you saying, Andrew?
I was just saying that it was impressive that it looks like you have some really cool writers coming through, and